You've probably heard a lot about really good 2 tower combos, but this might just be the best 3 tower combo in the game now. Together, that trio should be able to slay Luminous Cove chimps. If I need to add a 4th tower though, or a 5th, then I'll do so. But let's try to figure out the early game. Well, a sub for it to start into Brickle is probably the play. Probably the biggest thing stopping me is being able to afford Brickle, because this has got a solo round 10 or 11, or alternatively, I can drop an ice on the water, because you can do that now. And the ice on water change is the sole reason why this is such a broken trio now, and Absolute Zero takes the cake as the top tier 5 in the game, at least according to top players over here. As you can see, the Absolute Zero is in the S- tier, and the numbers next to their portrait correspond to the tier that makes it like them being a high tier in the first place. With there being no tier 5s in the S tier, that means Absolute Zero is technically the best tier 5. Reason being, it's pretty, I guess, self-explanatory. But if you do need an explanation, well, this sub over here is going to be on the top path. We want to get Energizer on it for global cooldowns as well as extra XP and Brickle. The biggest thing is that the cooldown reduction goes from 20% to 50% if your tower with an ability is placed on water, and that applies to thus, Brickle, and the Ice Monkey. Let me just get an air burst to defend the early here. And honestly, I'm surprised Ninja Kiwi did such a double whammy of buffs for the Ice Monkey, at least for the Absolute Zero, because in 49.0 they also decreased the cost of the Absolute Zero, even though it already got indirectly buffed by being able to be put on water, thus being able to be affected by Energizer. Several $1,000s on top of that, less, is pretty crazy. We can also get the party started nice and early with the Bloons reactor. This isn't a 50% cooldown over reduction yet, but it does give a small 15%, which ain't nothing to scoff at. Anyway, everything I said earlier falls in line with what the creators of that tier list said, basically with the mid-path ice being amphibious, allowing it to combo really well with Energizer, and also Snowstorm being really good for it. I'm not going to go for that right now, though, because I feel like getting Energizer first, if you can save up for it, would be big. Plus, it's not like we're struggling at all against Bloons, are we? Reactor, with it having so much Pierce, and Brickle dealing with the strong stuff, is already a pretty good 2 tower combo in itself. Not enough to carry the rest of the way, but I would say certainly good enough for the 40s here. 49 is probably when we might get Pierce Cap, so I'm gonna wait for this Rams come in, use the Brickle ability for extra attack speed, and we should be good here. After 49 passes, nice. And let's see if Brickle has enough mult damage here. If not, I think I need to unsubmerge the sub here for a brief moment. Like that. Submerged again. If that still leaks ability, but here's the issue. I'm not going to have 2 abilities this round, I don't think. Also, you may not have noticed here, but one thing I remember back in my heydays of playing races is that Brickle ability doesn't actually work on the reactor itself. Like this. You have to unsubmerge it for it to get the attack speed. Otherwise, this with Brickle buff does nothing. Or at least I think it gives 1 Pierce, and that's it. Well, maybe the second mob of this round being alone might be a little bit better for us. Let's see. Yep, there's Energizer. And we ended the round with it too, which means we got the 50% XP bonus for the round. Easy. Now it's probably a good time to bring up that tier list again, because the, I guess, in synergy with the Absolute Zero buff, the Energizer is also really, really high up, slotting it at the A tier, so just 1 below. It do be like that. When one tower gets better, the towers that benefit that tower inherently get better. And I guess we'll just go ahead and get that Ice Tower now. And after Absolute Zero, that's all I'm going to spend for pretty much the rest of the game. 1250 for a DT freezing, of course. And at least compared to your usual conventional damage strategy, this is probably a very unique trio of towers, because on paper, it feels like none of these actually do consistent... Well, they actually don't do any consistent DPS. With Brickle, all of her power is pretty much in the Megamind. she has a really, really high skill ceiling. I would say the highest in the game, yes, even surpassing that of Corvus. And that's because there's a lot of skill in terms of being able to stack mines properly in order to maximize the damage of her. Like, for example, using it like that, while OP or very satisfying, isn't probably the best usage of it. At least if the next round after that was like round 98. What you want to do is you want to put it further away from the track so you have staggering on them. That's kind of the gist. Obviously, I'm not doing it perfectly because I'm not really an expert at this. I just know this is like a thing, and I've seen other people do it. But this is the first time, or at least one of the few times, I'm actually pulling off my stuff. But yeah, that's it. End of round 65. That's the last we're going to spend money on, hopefully. And also, check out what you can do with the Absolute Zero cooldown now. Take a look at how much uptime is on those BFBs in terms of the freezing. Nearly full uptime that they are slowed down for. Can you see why this combo is so crazy? Yeah. As good as the strategy is, if you're the kind of person who likes to use towers where you just drop it and let the game basically play out for itself, then this is probably not the strategy for you because there's a lot of micro and uptime required, as you can see. Basically gotta keep a look at all three of your abilities because they're all very, very, very important to chain properly in order to get the most out of it. And doesn't that speak to how great BT6 is and that how versatile of a tower defense it is, that I guess there's so much variety in this game now that you can basically kind of choose your own playstyle. Again, Hindbind Crew like this or something easy like, I don't know, an Archmage. So let me take you through some incredibly basic mine stacking. So we have two back here. That's going to be for the BFB and the Moab layer. We need 3 Mega Mines to break them all down here. So 1 now. Oh, that didn't actually kill it. Whoops. That's my bad. That's probably going to mess everything up because I don't think that mine... Yeah, that mine's going to be one-off and then that one's going to be another one-off. But again, Brickle has enough base damage that she'll be okay. And don't mind me. Because we're spamming so many mines in late game here, I don't want to flashbang you, because it's kind of like a homeland. However, in doing so, now we don't see any of that cool freezing effect from the Absolute Zero, nor do we see the reactor glow, so that's the trade-off I guess we'll have to make. Ideally, this Mega Mine gets all 5. Okay, good. Gets all 5 of them, means we can just do that. Easy. Brickle is probably going to be level 20 by around 100, which is needed. Otherwise, we won't have enough bad damage, or it'll be tight. Alright, 87, we do it right this time. Boom, boom, boom. Beauty. Here comes the fun. 91, 1, 2, to beat this. 92, we'll get all 50 F-mobs out, and beat them all, while stunning Zoomies in the process. I think you get the point from here, so I think from this point on, I'm gonna show you the harder rounds. If there are harder rounds, that is. Yeah, who am I kidding? There literally is no hard round here. Just check this out. 95, I guess, is probably one of the tougher ones, because DDTs are much harder to stall than other balloons. We got Ceram stuck all the way there, but it's okay. Check this out. With Megamind, I can nuke out... Wait, let's get this DDT to come closer. And boom. I obviously made that a lot harder than it should have been. But that's one way to not have to redo 95 again. And again, should show you that while super high skill ceiling, I think the skill forward strategy isn't that much. Like, you just have to be willing to press some buttons. That's all. Coming into round 98 with 101k, we've got 3 mines already at the ready. Make that 4? Yeah, let's use this one now. Oh, no, they both chained at the same time. That's a little bit unlucky, but thankfully, again, 4 is enough here, or having 2 shoot at the same time is completely fine. In fact, it helps stall, because there's only a couple left. Round 99 shouldn't be too bad now that every ability is up. Just freeze, use Megamind here. And look at that beautiful chain explosion and then chain freeze at the same time. The Energizer honestly doing, wow, almost as much damage as Brickle. Probably because the damage over time area effect is pretty broken. Anyway, round 100 should be a joke. I think each Megamind does 10,000 damage, so we just need 3 of them. And it pops. 1, 2, 3. And good god, this is one of the easiest 3 TCs I've ever done. And I can very much see why this is an S+ strategy. Especially when it comes to the toughest maps. 1 more, and the end. How about as a quick encore? Let's go even further. If group stuff isn't really an issue because Brickle is area effect with her Megamind, then yeah, we should be able to stretch this money save up beyond this amount. Okay, it might be a little bit tough though without mind stacking because this round I already used my mind and my ability cooldowns actually are not fast enough, so I guess I might have spoken a little bit too soon. I think while sticking to the theme of this challenge, we can add more towers, but they're gonna be more support. So Prime Mentoring for 15% CDR, as well as another Snowstorm to stay above 100k. And now I should be able to freeze a lot of DDTs. I repeat, a lot of them. Enough so that we can stall long enough for a Megamind ability to come back up. And then just keep on chaining Absolute Zero and all that. And this ability here. And then see, after it timed out, it's back. And just like that, we beat all DTs. That was pretty damn fire. Now, what's kind of annoying is that if you give too much CDR and Absolute Zero, you actually cannot use it immediately. Because take a look at that. The cooldown came back up, but it's grayed out because I think the initial freeze on the other towers didn't, or the other balloons didn't wear off yet. Which I'm not sure is something NK should change, but I feel like it's kind of weird. Surely you should be able to reapply already Absolute Zero balloons. I don't see why you would have to, or you should need to wait again. Or you should be punished for getting too much CDR. But that's besides me though, and holy crap, did Brickle's Megamind get Pierce capped? Definitely don't think I've seen that in a long AF time. Now let's pre-charge for 104. There do be a lot this round. I think I'm almost certainly getting Pierce capped here. 1 attack now. Second one here. Freeze again. Freeze again. Megamind again. And yeah, wow, there's a lot that still didn't get exploded. We might actually not have enough Megaminds for this. Holy moly. Got another one? Wow, that only got through a quarter of them. I might need one more Snowstorm to catch all this. Or nope. We're good. We're good. I started to get the hang of this strategy as the rounds progressed, as you see here. And the more I kept going deep into it, the more I realized, holy crap, this is a really, really easy... Like, this is really easy to pull off. All I'm doing really is chaining 2 Snowstorms Absolute Zero to make sure even DDTs get completely frozen and literally nothing gets through. It's honestly insane. And that's why, as you see, I've banked up $150,000. Absolutely blowing by my expectation about how much money I could save up. Because even when I try other S or very high tier towers, I don't get anywhere close to this amount. So that should speak volumes. Okay, I gotta believe the madness ends really soon because I don't think with scaling the Megamind has enough damage, but I'll be shocked. I'll be impressed if it did. And it blows away my expectations even more. But yeah, if bats were an issue, I'm pretty sure I can defend infinite non-bad rounds if I wanted to. But after 30 minutes of doing the same thing over and over, I think I need a break. So this might be the last round that we follow this formula. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna have I don't think any mine stacked up for 119. Let's see if we can shock the world. I think we need 5 Mega Mines to break down a bad layer. I guess Brickle can help a little bit. But yeah, that seems like the case. We have to make sure each Mega Mine hits all 3 bats at once. So that's 2. Well, this map ain't long enough for that. I can absolutely sure, though, that if I did do mine stacking the round prior, I probably could beat this round. But I think you get the point. $172,000 saved up into this round. Absolutely bonkers. And again, I feel like I say this every time I do a chimp strategy that saves up a lot of money, but I mean it this time. This is insane. And I recommend you try it for yourself. If you want to watch more videos, then click here. Otherwise, subscribe for more.